Alright, let's move on. I wanted to check out this video by, who is this? Saint Tontas. Never watched Saint Tontas before, but this is he made a video on the best community in gacha gaming. And, I'm kind of curious to see it. I've been hearing other people talking about this video. Let's check it out. Drop a like. Let's see what they have to say.
Gacha game communities, it's almost always a mixed bag. There are great stories, sure, like the amazing fan creations, art, and content that these communities create. But there are also many horror stories, especially when it comes to the most unhinged part of these communities. The nature of gacha games, with the heavy integration of real-world money in many of their mechanics, oftentimes breeds communities that are hyper-fixated on numbers like revenue and player count. After all, when players stop spending, that's when these games end their service.
Yeah, One Piece Bounty Rush doing good, huh?
And with how sunk costs work, nobody wants to see anything that they've invested their time, money, or dedication into disappear. What this means is that many of these communities view the gacha games they play and their developers as something that needs defending. If the community doesn't justify every single decision a dev makes, that would be bad. But what if there was a dev that did the opposite?
Nah, son. If I feel like any of the games I'm currently playing, whether it's Honkai Star Rail, which I think I would have the most, like, difficulty getting rid of, if they were BS, I'd just abandon it very quickly. There's so many other gacha games.
A dev that openly welcomed critique of the game and
like the one I was about to say right now, if I had to give up on Hoyoverse, I'd have Wuthering Wave and Nikke to do. Honestly, Nikke is probably the one I'd most quickly abandon, mainly because of the fact that it has like some of the most predatory microtransactions. But I also, it's also like, it's alright. It's not bad for what it is, I guess.
And immediately took action to make it better. Wouldn't that foster a community that's far more accepting of improvements, instead of the many existing ones that believe that their developers can never do wrong? Honest feedback.
Nah, son, because people can't stand criticism, period. So if you criticize something that they love, they can't stand that either.
That's acted upon is how games get better. And Wuthering Waves, with Kuro as its developer, is a company that embodies that mentality. Today we'll be breaking down why this is the case, diving into how Kuro is setting the tone for Wuthering Waves and its community from the top down, how Wuthering Waves has fostered a community that's far more open to critiques and improvements, and
I freaking love Wuthering Waves. I'm obsessed with it. I've been playing it for so much. I'm lucky to get, in on it early enough that this latest update, the Mount Firmament one, I was actually able to complete it, and I'm pretty much like caught up in its entirety. I have a few companion quests that I still want to clear out, but pretty much once I am like done with like most of the big major stuff, I will probably continue to play it on my own, even if not on stream. But likely I will continue to play it on stream, I'll be honest.
And how this mindset has already improved the game significantly. As always, if you're enjoying this content, please
shout out to Wuthering
like.
Waves for giving us the freaking the extra like energy. Love it. Honkai Star Rail has it. Wuthering Waves has it.
And subscribe button.
Zenless Oni say have it too.
The launch of Wuthering Waves, right?
The extra energy.
Publicized issues. The CEO of
Kuro, you know what I'm talking about.
Solon, had some choice words for the player base. I think as long as you can survive, that's enough, right? Besides that, love yourself alongside the players, love the game, and love your team. With these three principles, you'll be able to run a long-term gaming business. These heartfelt words were coupled with some of the best quality of life updates.
Let's go! Yes! Yes! This is the extra energy that I was talking about. Basically, if you only have 120 per day, there are some days where you can't play, so on a 1-to-3 ratio, it'll like fill up an extra energy reserve for you to play, so that if you can only play like once a week, you can still like use up and like you still have a bunch of energy to use and like catch up, so to speak. It's a really lenient and awesome catch-up mechanic that does not make the game any worse or any Like, it's just a good quality of life. It does not make the game any worse in any kind of way. It makes it better in every single kind of way. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thus far. With these words and actions, Solon confirmed a few things.
Wuthering Waves has made me a pretty decent
game trying to make the most money possible through their monetization.
And honestly, what I've already said it once. Wuthering Waves by far is one of the games that's had me open up my wallet easier. Like I would spend money on Wuthering Waves a lot easier than I would spend on any other game because of all of these like really consumer friendly practices that make me feel like this Wuthering Waves is gonna be like a decent company to invest in, so to speak. I haven't even put money into Honkai yet, and I freaking obsess over Honkai Star Rail.
5-star characters in the store, the fact that the weapon banner is completely guaranteed, and the fact that the overall 5-star rates are higher than their competitors while having a significantly lower pity. Any person who's spent in Wuthering Waves, in comparison to some of the top games in the market, understands that they're getting far more value relative to those peers. Second,
correct. And especially for someone like me, who's like currently actively playing a lot of different games, trying out a lot of different stuff, I am definitely looking out to see, okay, which game am I going to be able to dedicate all of my time, effort, and money towards in the near future?
Was that
because again, I haven't spent, I need to make this very clear, I haven't spent a single cent on any microtransactions on any of these games. I have in the past on Arknights. I spent about $25. My opinions on gacha games are, as a base starting off point, $30 should be like it should be more than fair to spend on a gacha game if it genuinely gave you a good entertainment like value that you believe is worth it. Sure, I'd be even like I could absolutely even argue, or I could even consider spending up to $60 on a gacha game if I truly believe that this is giving me the most wild and amazing freaking experience. Like this was truly a game worth $60, but it was free to play, and I want to support $60 easy. Anything beyond that is like I feel like you're allowed to judge me. You're allowed to be judged, but at that point, is absolutely just you supporting the company. That's basically just you donating your money for free. But if you do that, you know, spend your money however the frick you want. I'm not gonna freaking judge you. I'm not gonna tell you how to spend your own money. You spend your money however you want to spend it. But that being said, to that degree, I'm going to pay attention to who is more deserving of my money. I'm just saying.
That Kuro acknowledged
who's more deserving of my wallet.
Incredible
and Kuro games, I feel like because of how friendly, how consumer friendly they are.
Launch troubles had players
like, bro, I've only been playing this thing for like how many months? Not even that long, bro. Like maybe 3-4 months. I have all 3 of these. The only ones I'm missing is Jiangjin and Kalkero. And honestly, I'm probably gonna get Kalkero next because he's actually a really good DPS. But otherwise, I got everyone. I got Encore, I got Verena, I got Ling Yang, and I haven't been playing for very long, and I definitely have not been grinding.
Like their complaints were being heard, and what that meant was that these complaints were actually worth making. And
if I had to make one, like, it's like that I need better weapons. But that's also my fault for not understanding that premise too much. I'm hoping there's a Chang Li banner rerun so I can get her weapon.
Weren't being sent into a black hole, much like those made in other games. When Kuro led the industry with these sweeping updates...
Please add the multi-banner thing. The same way Honkai Star Rail's doing it, add the multi-banner thing. That way we can, like, still pull for weapons, even if it's, like, not the current banner. Or at least multi-banner pulls for, like, the weapons. I think would be dope, Kuro games.
Overall experience,
like, at least the weapons.
And actual industry leaders had to follow in their footsteps. This
multiple banners
only
would be
reinforced a constructive mindset across the community.
Like, look at this. Just by default, there's so many characters. I'm gonna have... Like, I can only imagine... Like, I don't even know how many characters total Genshin Impact has. But I know I'm not... Like, it's gonna take so much time and effort for me to get into.
when it came to their suggestions to improve the game. Other communities
but they've got me locked out in Honkai Star Rail. Changly! But they got me locked out in Zenless Zone and Honkai though for now.
Toxic positivity bred through years of Hoyoverse games leading the market is slowly disappearing, and the end result is that gacha games as a whole are becoming a much better experience for
which is
all
awesome,
players.
dude.
However, this wasn't the case very early on in Wuthering Waves.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, as a gacha gamer, and especially as a streamer of these games, I need to make it a point to myself to like effectively abandon these games that are predatory and play games that are like better. So I'm just saying, there's gonna be certain gacha games that you're gonna see me play all the way through, beat the campaign, and pretty much drop for good. But there's gonna be some games, and I can pretty much tell you right now, Wuthering Waves is probably gonna be one of those that even if I don't like play it for a week, I'm probably gonna come back to it. I can definitely see myself just grind, like doing an entire stream where I just grind like side quests. Not even anything major. I can't say the same about a lot of other games,
and that very
especially a lot of other gacha games.
Toxic positivity was very strong back in
I can't say the same thing about Zenless Zone, because like the best part about Zenless Zone Zero is the combat, and there's not like a lot of. It's not very focused on combat. It's mostly focused on TVs for some freaking reason. Honkai Star Rail, if you really get desperate, you could actually go and fight all the overworld enemies, but it's just not that kind of a game. It's not open world like that.
And what this meant was that a huge number of
you can do Simulated
players
Universe basically for a whole stream. But that's about it.
We're facing the same kind of backlash that we had seen in prior gacha titles. Don't believe me? Let's take a look at one of my older videos, how to make Wuthering Waves better. In this video, I highlighted several gameplay features within Zenless Zone Zero that I thought would be great additions to Wuthering Waves. Things like—
okay, look, this chick! I don't remember seeing the trailer. When is this chick popping out? I want her! She's a Sons of Caledon. We need a third one! When she comes out, I'm going ham, dude. Because my Lucy and Piper are some of my best in my whole freaking, like, my roster. So I need this chick.
An expedited daily system
when is she coming
that
out?
Would give a greater reward for spending wave plates. Things like more interactivity with playable characters in the overworld.
And I guarantee you, when she comes out, they're gonna bust her out with a new freaking Boopon too, with a new Bang Boo. I'm gonna have to get the Bang Boo too. Let's go.
Like adding more replayability.
I'm gonna start like saving up.
These were suggestions that, on paper, weren't too unreasonable. And
the bounty system is one of the most amazing parts about Zenless Zone Zero, and it's just an amazing way to get me more interested. Gives me more rewards for grinding. Gives me more like. There's like another extra shop as well.
Would, without a doubt, improve the game for many players.
Which too many shops can be annoying,
but I say that Kuro did something wrong. This video got completely obliterated with one of the worst
you're gonna get people on both sides.
Dislike ratios I'd ever seen. People had some very familiar responses to these suggestions. Things like Woo-Wah
because now you're comparing their Hoyoverse to their game, and a lot of people are like there's like this big like, well, you're either dedicated to Kuro or Hoyo or this or that and the other. It's like, I don't care, bro. I'm gonna play whichever was the most fun. Y'all can all suck my monkey. But I am a monkey. Anyhow, I freaking personally play whatever the frick is fun, and I'm gonna abandon it if it's not fun anymore.
Open world.
That's simple.
Daily should take more time.
Y'all can't be too dedicated to these games. It's not this.
The elusive realm is perfect as it is. These were the same exact type of replies we'd see.
If I had to say, Wuthering Waves, like one of the biggest things that I haven't, and this is actually not even just Wuthering Waves, but I've definitely noticed it most because I've like beaten Wuthering Waves. I've gotten through the full campaign at this point. Is it's not super easily clear or like convenient to like have everything. Like they need to make some kind of like resource where you can like have absolutely even the minor things specifically to grind out a specific resource. Like if I wanted to say, hey, I want to grind out astrites, stellar jades, I want to grind the premium stuff, they need to give you like a freaking list of like, okay, here's everything available that will give you this particular resource from like most to least. You get me? Now, Wuthering Waves has the best version of this so far, where they have, like, just list upon list of, like, okay, you want to grind this resource, you can get it here, you can get it that. Wuthering Waves has the best example of that, but I feel like they should be adding that for other resources, like the premium stuff, too, so that you can easily go in, grind your premium currencies, and get the frick out, even if you're not necessarily grinding just XP items for that day, which typically in, like, Honkai Star Rail, that's what I'll do. I'll log in, grind all my, like, use up my energies, grind up my XP items, and then leave, or like grind for my relics and then leave.
To any suggested improvement to games like Genshin Impact. And when Hoyoverse, the developers, would go ahead and ignore all of these suggestions to improve their game, this only further reinforced the mindset that the developers knew best and never had to listen to their players. And what did Kuro do instead? They went ahead and implemented all of these changes that I had previously gotten raked over the coals for. They increased the wave played daily from 20 points to 60. They added interactivity with playable characters in the overworld. And they added more rewards.
They did. This entire wishing update that came out was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I loved every part of it. It gave such a breath. This whole Moonlit Festival thing was one of those, like, updates that in any other game, I would have ignored it. Any other game, I was going to leave it alone. I was never going to touch it. I was going to let it come and go, pass by, goodbye. And I was just going to continue grinding my normal grind set. But it gave you so much interaction with so much of the characters in the world that it gave the entire game, the entire world a much needed life, like boost, like a breath of life, and really explained how the world works to me a lot better, and gave me an example of how humans exist with the tacit discord in this world. So it really, really livened up the game. It was just an altogether amazing update, especially for, like,
characters in the overworld, and they added more rewards.
Immersion, I would say. Immersion, especially for immersion.
And a refresh to the elusive realm. The developers
Thank you for the refresh to the elusive realm. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the greatest quality of life updates ever.
The people that set the
very similar to, like, the simulated universe in Honkai Star Rail. Let's go.
Tone for their game's community. If a developer refuses
more rewards, give us more stellar jades, more rewards in those refreshes.
Feedback, that sends a strong message to the community. Anybody critiquing our game is wrong. And that drives the mindset across its players that there is something wrong with people who don't like everything about the game. And that's toxic positivity. By implementing so many changes and updates this early on in the game's lifecycle, Kuro has effectively opened the door to a far healthier community dynamic where players and content creators aren't afraid to point out when something is bad or needs improvement. When content creators were running the risk of losing their communities or viewership for having any—
Bro, if anything, when a game developer shows that they take feedback like this, it makes me, personally, so much more confident in like spending money, spending time, spending effort in that game.
Negative opinion about the game, that heavily influences the content that they create as well. In Wuthering Waves, that fear has been quelled, and it couldn't have happened without the actions of the developers. And now this one developer, Kuro Games, they're bringing this mindset of constructive feedback over to games that have had millions, if not billions more in budget, a much larger player base, and far more years of developer experience. Kuro Games has set the
And
benchmark.
Honestly, this is great. This is good. Because this is exactly the same example that we see time and time again of competition being good. If Kuro Games is stepping up and making a consumer-friendly game, gacha game, and people are flocking over there, then Hoyo is by force going to have to make more consumer-friendly decisions. And that's amazing, because the only people that wins there are the consumers. Us.
when it comes to a developer interacting with their community. And now the Wuthering Waves community is easily
This was a
the
16, by the
strongest
way.
it's ever been.
With Gion.
There simply aren't as many people.
I really wanted to hate Gion because he seemed like the standard, like, I'm the buff boy, beautiful. I'm the mega suave, sick boy. Nah, he's actually a chill dude. He's actually so cool. I love him. I fell in love with him. He's my husband, though.
People know that it's a filler patch with slightly less desirable characters, and people understand what Kuro is doing. You can say a lot of things about Kuro games, but one thing for certain is that they truly do love their players. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Peace out.
This is an amazing video by Saint Tontus. I actually haven't seen Saint Tontus personally, so I'm gonna subscribe. Loved your video, my dude. We'll definitely watch some of your content in the future. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna share this on the Discord. Please go drop him a like, go drop him a sub. He's only at 7.87k. Let's get him to 8k, my dudes. Please, 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 go subscribe, go subscribe. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and become a Monodachi today! I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi! That's all for now, monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!